Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the privilege stacking series. You guys really seem to like it when I talk about thin privilege and kind of the hacks that I use to brainwash myself into being skinny. So the reason I'm using the term brainwashing is because I really do think that being skinny, there is a psychology component to being skinny. So, for example, one mistake that I used to make was I was over exercising and then overeating. And I was actually 30 pounds heavier than what I am right now. So not only is that extremely annoying, but part of the reason why you're not skinny is because you don't have enough knowledge about your own body. Like I didn't know that for my personal body that if I work out a lot, it's going to make me super ravenous and hungry. So I didn't have a strategy on how to lose weight and meet my body goals and work with my body. For a lot of girls, I noticed that they will just try to copy somebody else, and maybe you don't have the same body type as her. Maybe you don't have the same metabolism as her. But one of the ways that I brainwash myself to be skinny is number one, I expose myself to attainable body goals. So for a lot of women, I notice that they associate being skinny with like being a celebrity. And yes, a lot of celebrities are skinny. But when I go on my Instagram, I'm following a lot of women who are more attainable. So they're not famous, they're not necessarily celebrities, but I do like to follow girls who post like fitness inspiration, not the weightlifting ones though, because those girls get on my nerves. But I do like to follow girls that post like fitness inspiration or just I like to look at accounts where they're showing women who are my height, my exact height, my exact skin tone, my exact body proportions, so tall, slim, hourglass, and they are skinny. That is specifically attainable to me because I know, hey, that girl is the same height as me. That girl has the same racial background as me, so her genetics are kind of similar to mine. The way that she does her routines, that's similar to mine. So you have to find attainable people to kind of like learn from as opposed to just looking at bodybuilders and stuff. Like part of the reason why I was struggling before I noticed it's because the only fitness people that I followed, they were all like lifting these super heavy weights. And I just don't like weightlifting. Like that doesn't sound fun. Going to the gym and squatting 200 pounds, that doesn't sound fun to me. And so those were not the correct accounts for me to be following because those weren't inspiring to me. Those were actually discouraging to me, watching girls that are like way younger than me and like way smaller than me, but then they can lift these super heavy weights. Well, maybe they have a different body composition than me. Maybe they like really enjoy lifting weights. And so one of the mistakes I made was I was trying to fit my fitness goals into somebody else's like mold. But that leads me to number two. I have a Finsta account, so I have a fake Instagram where I follow hundreds, if not thousands, of creators who they make food videos. So I follow a lot of Indian creators because for whatever reason, the Indian, like the Ayurvedic herbs, for whatever reason, that stuff works really well on me. So I follow a lot of creators who make like Ayurvedic recipes. I follow a lot of people who create healthy recipes or they know how to make smoothies and stuff. Or like, those alternative doctors like Dr. Sebi and like, those types of accounts. So I follow a lot of those accounts. This is all on my Finsta. So what you can do is you can create a new Finsta, you can create a new Pinterest, or you can just use your own Instagram if you don't mind other people seeing it. The reason I don't make it public is because other people, they don't need to know my weight loss strategies. That's none of their business. Because sometimes I've noticed that people, like when you're the pretty girl already, people will stalk you so hard. They will literally be like, why are you following Dr. Sebi? Why are you following this person? Oh, you follow a lot of fitness accounts. Oh, is that what you're trying to look like? So I don't need any distractions. And so if you're like me and you enjoy your privacy, you can just make a Finsta, make a fake Instagram account, and then follow all of the girls. You know the types of girl that you would be jealous of? Yeah, let's talk about it. Become the type of girl that you used to be jealous of, okay? So I want you to start following all of those girls. I want you to get over this jealousy thing and stop avoiding those girls. And I want you to finally face your emotions and admit to yourself, you know what? I really do wish my body looked like Tyla. I really do wish my body looked like Beyonce. I don't know, whoever your person is. So instead of letting myself be eaten alive with jealousy and like blocking them or something because I'm so mad and like I get angry when I see their body. No, why don't I just try to learn from those women? Why don't I like try to see what their routine is and maybe it'll work for me? Okay, another way that I brainwashed myself to be skinny is I started like taking supplements. So this is not really brainwashing, but just learning about different nutrients and supplements. And I also talk about the exact supplements that I take over on the Patreon. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. But just learning about nutrition and stuff. A lot of people, they're fat because they just don't know. They're not knowledgeable about nutrition. They literally do not know what works with their body. Like, for example, are you an ectomorph, a mesomorph? Are you an endomorph? Are you a mix of two of those? Like what works well for your body? Does your body thrive on carbs? Like for me personally, I can eat potatoes and lose weight because of my body type. Like I know that for a lot of people, they can't eat a lot of carbs because it really makes them kind of store fat or whatever. But for me, I can eat like one time I ate 3 entire potatoes in one day, and that was like my meal. I literally ate that because I was so hungry, and I still woke up and I lost weight the next day. So that has more to do with my actual body type. So that's very important information to know. Are you an ectomorph, a mesomorph, or an endomorph? Because if you're doing like diets and workouts that are for somebody else's body type, you're fucked because that it wasn't created for you. Number 3, I make sure that all of my workout clothes and equipment are pretty and pink. So my yoga mat is pink. I have the super cute Pilates princess outfits. You know the Pilates princess aesthetic with the leg warmers and how girls wear the Uggs and stuff? Yes, I have all those outfits. I have the cute little backpack. You know the see-through backpacks where it's like neon, like it looks like a plasticky backpack you can see through. Yeah, so I have all of that stuff, the cute little sun visors, anything that makes me feel gorgeous and feminine and like I'm a workout Barbie. Like that's how I want to feel when I work out. I really try to use fashion and beauty to evoke emotion within myself. So when I'm at the gym, well, I actually stopped going to the gym a few months ago. Maybe I'll make a video about that. Isn't it crazy how I literally stopped going to the gym? I canceled my membership and I literally lost 30 pounds. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. And that's because for me, my diet was what was keeping me like not super fit. It was the fact that I was like eating a lot and then over exercising. But anyway, I try to make sure that my clothes and my fitness aesthetic meets the actual aesthetic I want to have. So you know all those influencers that I just told you to follow? You know all your favorite celebrities or Ariana Grande, whatever, Tyla. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of random celebrities that maybe you think their bodies are cute or something. What is their aesthetic? Have you ever noticed a certain archetype of women that you get jealous of or triggered by? So I want you to think about when you are the most insecure about your body. What types of women do you feel insecure around? Because remember, jealousy is a compass. So I know for me personally, my body goals are closer to like the K-pop types of bodies. A lot of people give me flack for that, but like I don't care because it's my body. For some of you, maybe you like a slim, thick aesthetic, kind of like Kim Kardashian or Beyonce or J Lo or somebody like that. For other girls, maybe you like a petite aesthetic, very short and skinny and athletic, but still curvy, kind of like Christina Milian or somebody like that. So I want you to think about how you feel when you're triggered by those women. But what is it about her aesthetic that made you triggered? So let's use Christina Milian for example. Is it the fact that she's super skinny and then wears cute necklaces and then she has her hair natural as well? Okay, so that's a sign that deep down inside you just want to look like that. You want to have kind of that beach body. I don't know why she kind of gives me like a beachy vibe sometimes. So using jealousy as a compass when it comes to body goals, that will actually help you to determine what you are trying to do. And by the way, another way that I brainwash myself into being skinny, I'm just going to be honest, I am very into gimmicky stuff. Okay, so on this channel, you're not really gonna get like the most medically safe or like the most medically perfect types of content because I don't do all that stuff. Like I do not lift weights. My form of strength training is yoga. I like to use my own body to develop strength. Like I just feel like I don't need to lift 150 pounds in order to be healthy. I mean, that doesn't even sound, I've never done that in my life, actually. I'm just being honest. The most I've ever benched is 90 pounds. My arms are not strong at all. My arms are like noodles. But they look good though. They look like how I want them to look. So that's all that matters. So that's another thing too. It's okay if your body goals do not fit kind of what the most popular body type is. So, for example, I know that the BBL aesthetic is very in. I know that the slim thick is very in. I know that being thick in general is in style, but that just happens to not be my aesthetic that I'm going for. So that's another thing. Don't be ashamed of your aesthetic, but guess what? You don't have to tell anybody what your body goals are. It's nobody's business. Who cares about telling all your friends and family, oh, I want to look like a K-pop star? Okay, why is that their business? Why do they care what you do with your abs in your spare time? Like, nobody really cares that much. And so you don't want to get hung up on like, oh, what are other people going to think of my body goals? Don't let people shame you, because that's just fake concern. Oh, but back into what I was saying though, I am into a lot of gimmicky stuff. So I do use the ankle weights. I've told you guys about this. I have used different versions of like corsets, waist trainers, Spanx. I'm not talking about using it in a dangerous way. Use it at your own risk. By the way, anything that you do to lose weight can be dangerous. Calorie deficits can be dangerous. Lifting weights, that can be dangerous. So why is it that people like to pick and choose suddenly? Oh my God, the waist training. Oh my God, you're gonna die. You shouldn't use that. No, bitch. My waist looks fucking snatched. And it doesn't, like I said, it's not even just from waist trainers. It could be from like Spanx. So I used to wear Spanx when I was in college. So Spanx are like where it's a stocking. It's kind of like a cut off stocking or pantyhose. So I used to wear Spanx, and even the Spanx helped my abs to heal in the shape of the Spanx. I have nothing to back this up. This is just this is just my opinion. And also it does help with me not being as hungry or like not eating as much, because whenever I'm wearing my little Spanx or I'm wearing my little waist trainer, the flexible one, I usually don't wear corsets in public. I usually just wear that at home for a few minutes a day. But if I am wearing something that kind of cinches in my waist, when I start eating and then I start feeling just a teeny tiny bit of bloating, it reminds me, oh yeah, I need to like not eat as much because it's going to make me extremely bloated. Not to mention the fact that if you're wearing those flexible waist trainers during the day, if you overeat with the waist trainer on, you are going to have to go boo-boo. Like, you're going to immediately have to go boo-boo. But I kind of like that those little Spanx and waist trainers, I like that it seems to help my digestive system just in general. It helps me to go to the bathroom like in a healthy way, and then the next day I wake up and I'm less bloated. That's just the way my body reacts to them though. So remember, everything doesn't work for everybody, but yeah, that's how my body reacts. So that's another way that I kind of naturally brainwash myself to be skinny. By the way, another hack, and a part of why I started doing the Spanx sometimes or waist trainers sometimes, is because, okay, so if you live in a cold climate and if you do a lot of walking, you take the bus and it's like freezing outside, the Spanx, that's another way to keep yourself warm. I'm just saying, so you're keeping yourself warm under your work clothes, and you look cute, and your waist is snatched, and you're not going to be overeating, and you're not going to be bloated. Like, for me, that is why I am a big proponent of waist cinching materials. Okay, so whether it's a waist trainer, whether it's Spanx, whether it's corseting, whether it's girdles, it doesn't really matter what the device is. I've noticed fajas, that's what they call them in the Latin community. So it doesn't matter what you're using to cinch your waist, but as long as you are using something, it is going to help. Or at least in my case, it did help. Not to mention the fact that it kept me warm, so I didn't have to dress in as much like coats and stuff because I already had my little Spanx underneath my work outfit. So that was just another positive side effect of wearing those. One of the other ways that I brainwash myself to be skinny is by hanging out with women who are skinny. So I love doing this, honestly. Like, I hang out with other women who are skinny, and I will ask them questions, or like we will have entire conversations about being skinny. That is one of my favorite things about being skinny, to be honest. I love making a new friend who's also skinny, and then we get to have an entire back and forth conversation about all of the strategies we use to be skinny. So with one of my friends, actually, she's very skinny. She actually does pole dancing. Like, she's very, she doesn't do that as her job, but I'm saying she does that for fitness. And so her body is like very snatched. And we were having brunch, and she's the one who told me that at this particular restaurant, you don't have to order their meals off the menu. You can just order one by one. Like, basically what she was ordering was like spinach on the side and like avocados and stuff. So she was like coming up with all these creative ideas on how to order healthy foods that were also cheaper on the brunch menu. So that's an example of like one of the benefits of hanging out with skinny girls. So now every time we go to that spot, now I know exactly how to order when I go there. So like We're going there this weekend, most likely. So now I'm going to order the same thing as her, which is the spinach on the side and maybe some asparagus on the side instead of getting fries. So there are a lot of skinny hacks that you learn from hanging out with skinny women. In fact, another one of my friends, she is very skinny. She's a size 4. She has been the same size since high school. She has been within 10 pounds of her high school weight. And she talked about that. And I was like, wow, like, how did you do that? Like, is there anything special that you're doing to keep yourself in shape? And I was already skinny. Like, we were both the same size. We were both a size 4. And so I was just curious as to what she was doing. And she was like, oh, yeah, it's because I always eat vegetables with every single meal, every single day. And the majority of my groceries are vegetables. She didn't say fruit. She didn't say protein. She did not say that she eats a bunch of fancy stuff or that she eats pasta. So that's another reason why it's important to kind of like have a diverse group of skinny people around you. That will actually help give you more ideas because I had never thought about that. We were both the same size. We were both a size 4, but our diets were totally different. I was eating meat every single day. She was eating mainly vegetables. I mean, she ate meat too, but she didn't eat as much meat as me. So even though we were the same size, it was just interesting to see another skinny girl, and that was how she maintained her size 4. And then I remember in exchange, you know, when we were having our skinny girl conversation, she was asking me how I got my butt. She was asking how I got my butt to be in the shape it is. So she was white, and like she was asking like, why do your hips, you know, you have a wider thigh gap, which I do. I have a thigh gap, but I still have a little bubble butt. Why am I describing this on the internet? This is so weird. But no, she was trying to, I know what she was trying to say. Basically, she was saying that even though me and her were the same jean size, the jeans look different on me versus her. So some people might say, oh, it's based on race. It's because she was white. But one of the things I was doing different than her was with my workout. I actually was doing squats every single day, like in the bathroom. I told you guys that when I would be in the bathroom at work, whenever I go to the bathroom in the stall, I would do 10 squats. Or like when I'm at my cubicle, sometimes I would do squats. I also have a specific exercise that I do to widen my thigh gap just because I like how that looks. I already have a thigh gap, so like why not make it look even more, I don't know, like prominent. So I told my friend the exercises that I do, and also because I was eating meat, I do feel like maybe my protein could have been higher. I don't know, like we never talked about our protein intake. I wasn't measuring my protein at that time, and I know that she wasn't measuring hers either, but you know, maybe the protein I was eating, maybe that helped me to also build the muscles as well when it came to squatting, because my butt, it will change too. Like if I don't do squats, my butt doesn't pop as much. So that's why I told my friend my workout, because I know what she was trying to say. And by the way, my friend, she was able to be a size 4 without doing any exercise at all, really. And I was doing a lot more exercising than her. And looking back, it's because I was eating more calories, so I had to rely on exercise, whereas she was eating less calories because she was eating vegetables. Vegetables are very low calorie, by the way. I've heard of one skinny girl. She eats a pound of vegetables per day, and she's very tiny and very petite. So that's an example of how low calorie vegetables can be. But yeah, so that's another way you can brainwash yourself to being skinny is by hanging out with skinny friends. Or if you don't have any friends or family members who are skinny, you can join online communities. You can join Facebook groups. You can join my Patreon or Discord. You can watch YouTube channels and look at the comments section of the women on the channel and look at how they do their strategy for being skinny. Another thing that I used to do to kind of brainwash myself to stay on track is I would join Reddit groups and stuff, and I would just look at all the posts of the girls who like they stay skinny and like how they do it, what they eat in a day. I love watching those videos, like what I eat in a day as a nutritionist, what I eat in a day and how I get 100 grams of protein. I like watching very specific what I eat in a day videos because it gives me more like ideas on what to eat, because that's another reason why a lot of people don't stay skinny is because they get bored with eating vegetables, for example. And that's because they don't know how to make vegetables taste good. And so one of my hobbies right now is learning specifically how to make vegetables taste good. So I do this, I try to rotate which item I'm learning about. So I was recently learning about plátanos, plantains, and like how people cook them, how many calories are in them, how many carbs are in them. Can you air fry them? You can air fry them, by the way. I just did it a few weeks ago. And now this month I'm learning about cabbage. Kind of like how to make cabbage taste good, just different ways that people make cabbage. I've seen some people make it in the slow cooker. I've seen some people make it on the skillet. So, a part of what helps me to stay on track is that I'm always filling my mind with new ideas. Part of the reason why I struggled in the past was because I would run out of ideas, okay? Or I would just run out of motivation because I'm like, okay, I'm not about to cook from scratch every single day. And so now I have multiple streams of ideas for being skinny. So I know how to stay skinny on processed food. I know how to stay skinny on vegetables. I know how to stay skinny with meat or without meat. I didn't have all this knowledge before. So I really do feel like a lack of weight loss is tied to a lack of knowledge, or at least that's what it has been for me. And a part of it was because I didn't know what exact foods to eat. I didn't plan my meals. And especially like if you have a boyfriend or something, so when I was going to my boyfriend's place at the time, I would just eat whatever he had. So if he had all processed foods, that's what I was eating. But my body doesn't like processed food. He has a different body type than me, or maybe he has a different metabolism than me. So maybe he can get away with eating hot Cheetos and, all these chips and stuff because maybe he eats less calories. But a part of why I struggled is because I didn't have my own plan that was based on myself. Basically, I had an external locus of control in terms of food. So it's just like whatever food is sitting in front of me, that's what I'm going to eat. Okay, that's an external locus of control. Instead of deciding, no, I'm only going to eat vegetables. If there are not vegetables on my plate, then I'm not going to eat that plate. One of the other ways that I brainwash myself to be skinny is by going to environments where being skinny is celebrated. You know how they say go where you're celebrated? Okay, well, if you want to be skinny or if you are skinny and you want to stay skinny, go to as many environments as possible where being skinny is celebrated. So the gym, do you know how much of a badass I felt like when I would be in the gym or when I would be on the hiking trail? Don't even get me started on the hiking trails. Oh my God, I feel like I'm a fucking celebrity on the hiking trail. You can't tell me shit when I go on the hiking trail. When I put on my cute little workout set with the matching bra and the matching pants, and then I put on my little light up bracelet or like the necklace or the reflector jacket. You know those jackets where it looks like a construction worker, but it's like reflecting off of you. When I put on my cute outfit and I'm skinny and then I go on the trail, I feel like I'm a freaking superstar. I feel like Megan Good when she was in I think it was Stomp the Yard, where she's just running around the campus and then like everybody's looking at her because she's so in shape and like her body just looks great. That's how I feel when I go into an environment where being skinny is celebrated. So that's another way that I like to motivate myself. So going to the hiking trails, going to the yoga class if you have a yoga body, or if you want a yoga body, or if you want to validate your body, just go to environments where being skinny makes you the queen, okay? Oh, and another thing that I like to do is I do a lot of flat tummy gimmicks. That's what I forgot to talk about was all of the different gimmicks that I do. So, like I said, I know that gimmicks are like not healthy or whatever, or people say you shouldn't do them. Okay, well, I don't care. It's my body. So, I do like to drink a lot of herbal teas. You know how they have the flat tummy tea? So, I've never tried the actual flat tummy tea, but sometimes if there is a new weight loss gimmick or trend that's happening, I will look it up just to see, like, okay, what is it? And is there any way that I can incorporate that idea into my diet? So, for example, when keto came out, I found out that like keto is essentially kind of like low carb. So then I tried to do a day where I was like, okay, let me see what happens if I do like lower carbs. And then I lost weight. So I will look up like, okay, what's trending? Like I know that right now Ozempic is trending, which is like what's it called, GLP-1. And so I told you guys that I have been talking to one of my family members. She was talking about how there's this new supplement where it helps you to like lose weight or whatever. And I know that the supplements, if you're obese, taking a pill is not going to make you lose weight, okay? So I will tell you, as a person who has tried different supplements, the most that a supplement will do is kind of like lower your appetite. But what you can do though, if you don't want to engage in the gimmicks, just look up, okay, what is in this supplement? Usually it's green tea. I've noticed that that is an overarching theme of a lot of weight loss supplements. It has green tea in it. So one thing that I will do is maybe I'll try to go one day and then I will drink a cup of green tea. Or maybe I will go a whole week and I will drink 2 cups of green tea per day. I stopped doing it though because I hate the taste of green tea. And also there are rumors that green tea that it doesn't help you if you have allergies. I don't know if that's true. But I will say that the more herbal tea I drink, generally speaking, my appetite goes down. Okay, so that's a part of how I brainwash myself to be skinny. I'm always researching different herbs and different articles and studies on, like, how does this help your body? For example, cayenne pepper. You know how they say that cayenne pepper, it helps increase your metabolism. So one thing that I did in the past was I went to the store and I bought different types of peppers. Like I bought red pepper. By the way, have you ever had raw pepper? Because I actually got that tip of eating raw pepper just by itself. You just get some green, yellow, red, and orange peppers, chop them all up into slices, and then just put it in a Ziploc bag and carry that around. That's going to be your snack. I actually got that tip from one of my skinny friends. She happens to be white. And so that was a tip that I would have never thought of. I've never thought of just eating peppers by itself. And by the way, peppers taste so good by themselves. Oh my god. And it's like it always feels refreshing when I eat a pepper. Peppers are high in vitamin C. Okay, now I'm going on a rant about peppers. But yeah, so just like asking other skinny people questions, and by the way, only do this if you are actually friends with them, because when it comes to the whole weight loss conversation, like a lot of people are very sensitive about that topic. A lot of, especially skinny people. Do you know how much people gaslight us skinny people? They gaslight us so much. So sometimes, like, when people ask me questions about my body or my weight or what I'm eating, it kind of makes me like, oh shit, like, is this going to be a positive conversation or is this going to be a hater conversation? But generally speaking, though, if it's a skinny girl that's asking me a question, I know that usually she's just curious, because she wants to do some more skinny hacks. There are thousands of different hacks and strategies for being skinny, by the way. There's not just one way to become skinny. No, there are thousands of different ways that people maintain a healthy weight. So I will say, though, the best one for me is definitely the calorie deficit thing, because I know that they say that you cannot lose weight if you're not in a calorie deficit, like calories in versus calories out. So for me personally, I like to stick to a certain number of calories per week or maybe even per day. I don't track everything with my calories. Like I don't have one of those measuring things to where you measure your food out. I just feel like, that's doing too much for me. I'm too impatient. Like if I'm hungry, I'm just going to grab whatever it is and I'm just going to eat it. But one thing I like to do though is I do like to do food journaling. So I've started doing that over the past month just out of curiosity, just so I can track what I've been eating. I also like to take pictures of my food and I just keep it in my phone, because then if I gain weight or if I lose weight, I can go back and be like, wait a minute, what did I eat this week? Like, how did I lose weight? And then I'll go back and look at my meals and then I'll be like, oh, that's how I lost weight. So for example, a couple weeks ago, I lost like an additional pound. And I was like, how did I lose weight? I was like, I thought that I ate so much this past week. And then I went back and looked at the pictures of what I was eating, and the meals were smaller than what I thought in the moment. And it's because I was so full from eating vegetables. By the way, protein and fiber, those are the most satiating macronutrients, if I'm not mistaken, or at least for me. I mean, but no, I think protein is, and also the higher protein you eat, it takes, like, your body burns calories trying to digest that protein. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to say. One of my other, like, skinny hacks, so I'm bad at making smoothies. I love smoothies, but I hate making them. I hate cleaning out the blender. And then, like, when the fruit gets all moldy in there, like, that's just nasty. I hate letting the fruit sit in my sink and then fruit flies come out of the, I can't do it. So I don't really like making fruit smoothies, but I am good at making protein shakes, because all you have to do is you get a cute protein shake water bottle thing. Mine is pink, of course, because like I said, that's a part of brainwashing yourself. I want all of my fitness and workout items to be cute, because that's me helping my brain to equate fitness to femininity. So that's very important. I don't want a boring ass yoga mat where it's just like it's all ugly and looks all masculine. No, I want a feminine looking yoga mat. I want a feminine looking protein bottle. I want a feminine looking water bottle. So yes, my water bottle is pink and pretty. I have started to pre-make all of my protein shakes. So like maybe before I go to bed, I will mix a protein shake. So literally it's just water with 2 scoops of the protein. I know that some people put spinach and stuff in their protein shakes. I'm not doing that because it doesn't taste good. I don't like slimy spinach. I just can't do it. I can't drink spinach. I can eat spinach though. Like I can cook spinach on the olive oil. By the way, I learned about spinach from my skinny friend. She was a Puerto Rican girl. She was a Puerto Rican exotical. I learned about eating spinach from her because she was very skinny. I asked her like, "What do you eat for dinner?" She was eating plantains and spinach. That was like one of the main parts of her diet. And so that's part of how she stayed in shape. She actually taught me how to make spinach as a side dish. So like I said, there are so many ways that you can like learn about how other people stay skinny. Just make sure you're being respectful when you're asking them. And especially if you're bigger, don't get offended if the skinny person is kind of like I don't know, like if they are questioning why you're questioning them, because a lot of times skinny people do have trauma from bigger people talking shit about their bodies. So I would just say if you are going to ask a skinny person any questions, just make sure you're being nice about it. And then I'm sure they will share a couple of random tips that they use to be skinny, because I've noticed that like no two women have the exact same strategy. So, like with my one friend, she was Puerto Rican. She was eating the plantains and the spinach. Then my other friend, she was eating vegetables every day, but she wasn't doing a lot of working out. Oh, and by the way, another random thing is like the healthier your diet is, the less you have to rely on working out and cardio. Just saying. Like I literally, like I said, I quit going to the gym. I stopped doing all these long distance hikes and I have lost weight and I have more muscle tone. I literally feel stronger. This is because of my diet and because I just switched to yoga. But a part of how I brainwash myself to be skinny though is I will make my protein shake at night and then I'll just put it in the fridge. So then the next morning, you know how when you wake up and then you just like look in the fridge, or you know how you're like grazing and kind of like standing in front of the fridge? Yeah, I used to do a lot of that. So whenever I open the fridge, now I see a pretty pink protein shake just right there in front of me, ready to be guzzled on. So, one other thing that I do too is I will just take a sip of the protein shake. I don't drink it all in one guzzle unless I'm on the go. Oh, that's another thing too. I have noticed a pattern where a lot of my friends who are skinny, they bring snacks with them, like just on the go. They always have snacks. They have a healthy snack usually. They will have a bag, like I told you about my friend who always had the bag of peppers. She taught me about the peppers. And then I had another friend, she would always carry around grapes. Like she would always just have some grapes in her purse. And then one thing that I do is I always have a protein bar in my purse. Or like I used to carry trail mix. I haven't had trail mix in a while, but I noticed that like a lot of skinny girls, we like to have snacks on hand so that we have something healthy. Like if we just randomly forget to eat, or if we end up staying out longer than we thought. That used to happen to me so much. So I would go and run errands and I'd be like, oh, I have to stop and get gas. Okay, I have to go to my dentist appointment. Okay, I forgot. I have to go to the post office. So I would be running these errands. Next thing I know, it's been 3 hours and I'm super hungry. And so what do you think I would do? Of course, I'm more likely to go to a drive-through. I'm more likely to go to a pizza place. But one of the things that I started doing, and it helped me to stop eating out so much, was always carrying a healthy snack in my purse. If I'm going out, especially on vacation, if I'm going to be on a vacation and I'm going somewhere where they have lots of good takeout food, nope, I'm going to make sure that I have a protein bar in my purse, or I'm going to make sure that I have some fruits, or I don't know, just something healthy, because that helps me to not be so impulsive with my food choices. Fat people, generally speaking, are a lot more impulsive with their food choices. That's a part of why they're fat. Okay, I said what I said. And this includes myself. Like back when I was heavier, it was because I didn't plan ahead what I was going to eat. I never had any healthy snacks on hand. And by the way, it doesn't even have to be a healthy piece of food. It could be something as simple as you're carrying around herbal tea all day. You've got a giant water bottle that has electrolytes in it. Even stuff like that helped me to kind of curb my appetite, and it helped brainwash myself like, hey, I just had nutrients. Because a part of why your body sends hunger signals is because your body wants nutrients. So that's what your body is begging for. If you have sugar cravings, like how I usually do, generally speaking, you're probably craving water, or you're craving like just basic nutrients. And so drinking those herbal teas, drinking the iced teas and stuff, getting all your electrolytes in, that helps me to stop having so many cravings. Another thing that I do to brainwash myself to be skinny is I have multiple vision boards. Okay, so one is on my fridge. That is my magnetic calendar that I always talk about. It has like a to-do list on it. I write down my goals on there with my dry erase markers. And then I told you guys I have my private Pinterest board. And also, when I'm editing these videos contribute to me brainwashing myself into being thin. So there's a reason why no matter what topic I'm speaking on, you're pretty much always going to see positive feminine imagery on this YouTube channel. I don't show a bunch of pictures, for the most part, I don't show a bunch of pictures of negative images because, I understand as a creator that the images you show will invoke certain emotions. So that's why 90% of my content, it's going to show women who look very pretty and women who are very put together. Their outfits are cute, their makeup is cute. That is a part of subliminally brainwashing you. This channel does practice a form of positive brainwashing because, by the way, no matter what you do, you are being brainwashed. You're being brainwashed somewhere, somehow, by someone or something. Okay, so whatever you watch, that's contributing to brainwashing you. Whatever music you listen to, that's contributing to brainwashing you. So I also like to listen to podcasts and stuff that talk about health, or the podcasts that talk about cycle syncing and like how to be thin, or they talk about Ayurvedic herbs, or maybe they talk about being vegetarian or pescatarian, or having the Mediterranean, eating the Mediterranean diet. I just recently watched a video on that just because I was curious, like, what is this? So that's another strategy for brainwashing myself to be skinny. But what do you ladies think? Are you trying to unbig your back? Are you trying to go from a beluga to a supermodel? What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.